chop small, small, chop long time. Weak thoughts don't build strong minds. On the grind, that's all time. All time great, that's small time. The money I don't chop out. Wahala, no, they see the program. Hit the strip clubs in Europe and throw my euros. I think I'm in Poland. I just moved Olo, you see me with no cam. Pero tengo unos locos que chocan. Mis enemigos no se equivocan. A las damas y niños no se tocan. I'm in the kitchen, I give you that fuego. Money to burn tea, okay, all my pesos. Do as I say, si lo say so, I say so. You go for broke, I'ma go for my payroll now. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back. Foolish. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back, come back. Run that, my money, run that. Go when you go, make you go, never come back. Foolish.
Hey guys, and welcome to Bursting with Energy. Today we're going to be talking about energy in the political scene, right? So you know how we've talked about it personally, with ourselves, with our surroundings, our relationships. Now we're going to be looking at it within politics. So I'll be explaining more and more of it as we go through the different activities. We're going to start with a meditation, then go into a game, and end with a discussion where you guys will be voting. So I will be giving a giveaway for the people that get the answers right, and I'll explain more when we get to the game. So today I have Trish, Terry, Heldon, and Guy with me, and they're going to be our participants that are going to show you guys how to bring in energy within the political setting. Ready, guys?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to start with our meditation, so everybody get comfortable, and then I'm going to take you through a small meditation just to let go, release any energy, surrender, and to be in the present moment. Good? So you guys can keep your eyes open, keep your eyes closed. At home, keep your eyes open or keep your eyes closed, and then let's do it. Ready? All right, so take a moment to just sit comfortably, guys. Relax. Let any tension release through your jaw, your forehead, your shoulders, and take a deep breath. And just exhale slowly, releasing any to-do list, any worries, any stress. I want you to bring your attention to your eyes and imagine a thick cloud of deep relaxation spreading from within your eyelids. Keep breathing. And as you breathe, allow all your worries to float out of your mind. Allow the cloud to expand, covering your entire body inside. Slowly breathe in and then exhale. Bring your awareness to your right shoulder and slowly down your right arm. Now bring your attention to your left shoulder and slowly down your left arm. As you breathe, feel the energy of relaxation going into your fingertips. Feel any muscles that have tension. Acknowledge it and release it through your breath. Release it through your fingers. See it melting away. Now I want you to imagine the cloud of relaxation going down your upper back, tracing down your spine, and all the way to your tailbone. Bring your awareness to your left leg, moving down and out of your body, your left hip, your thigh, knee, calf, and ankle. Allow the tension to release out of your toes. And now trace your awareness to your right leg, right hip, thigh, knee, calf, and ankle. Continue breathing through the whole process, releasing any tension, releasing any stress. As your muscles release, feel the cloud come to rest in the center of your chest, bringing steadiness to your breath, being in the present moment, and releasing. Ensure that your chest is open, allowing yourself room to expand. Breathe in and out a few times. Sunday. So set an intention that allows you to feel like you'll have a relaxed day. What do you hope to gain through this breathing meditation? And how will the breathing impact the rest of your day? With every exhale, I want you to just let go and release. Take a deep breath through your nose. Feel your chest and stomach expand. And imagine inhaling fresh energy, fresh oxygen. Hold it in for a moment. And then slowly breathe out. As you exhale, feel yourself sinking into your supportive surface, so the couch. Breathe in it again, a little longer this time. Feel the oxygen entering your lungs, entering your body, fresh energy, and then slowly exhale, emptying out your lungs completely. Repeat this, completely filling in your lungs, and then letting go completely. Bring your full awareness to your breathing and continue to look inwards. Feel your mind open, and now I'd like you to examine your thoughts and your feelings. What are the sensations that are going through your mind or your body? Continue breathing, and take a look at anything that is unhelpful or distracting, any thoughts or feelings. Remind yourself that these thoughts are not serving you at this very moment, and so breathe them out. Choose each one individually, as though you're picking it up with your hands, and releasing it through your breath. Notice if some thoughts feel heavy, while others feel light or clumsy. Continue to take a deep breath. Take a moment to be grateful for how these thoughts have served you. You can even thank your thoughts. Acknowledge them as they are no longer relevant to this moment or helpful to you. Their time has passed. And release through your breathing. Know that as you let go, the thought will remain outside of your mind, ready to come back if you ever need it. But if you don't, then feel free to dismiss it, choosing instead to focus your energy on things that serve you. Continue to breathe in, breathe out, completely letting go, bringing yourself to the present moment. Examine your thoughts again. If they're past or future, push them to the side and bring yourself completely to the present moment through your breathing. Full awareness to the breath. Okay. Express gratitude for what you've learned about yourself through this breathing. Now consciously bring your focus back to the present, here and now. Fill your lungs with new breath. And then you can slowly move your fingers, your toes, feel the environment around you, and come back to the present moment. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How did that feel, guys? We'll start with Trish.
I just want to say that I'm very happy to report that I have no thoughts whatsoever.
Good.
That felt amazing. And birds are very happy to see me in my meditation this morning.
That's good, that's good. Glad. That's how you get a little pep in your step. So that's good. And yes, Terry, go ahead.
All right, see like rapids,
Mm-hmm.
just slow down the rapid.
Nice. Good.
Basically, yeah, the same in a sense. It's good.
Helen?
I think the same thing. It was just, I feel more awake, more
Nice.
aware of where I am.
And that's what we want, bursting with energy.
I'm
am I the only one who was like lost in my head? Like, you remember you were telling me to control your thinking, your thoughts, whatever, and then I'm like, okay, she's telling me to control my thoughts. How do I? Do that?
I didn't use the word control.
Yeah, not control that. I mean, that's what I translated in my head.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, oh, there's something on this topic that I have to like Google right after, and I'm like, I hear like focus, and I'm like, yeah, I get you. So it was really hard for me to just. It was like a burst of 2 minutes, no, like 30 seconds. I'm not there, and I come back, and then you're gonna say something that's gonna bring something else. And I'm like,
So for you, in that case, guys, if you get a lot of thoughts, have a journal, so that you write down your thought, and then you could just go back to the present moment.
We had a phone call.
Wow.
And I should actually say, the more you practice meditation, the easier it gets.
It
so,
does.
like,
So it's like I have to write it down while I'm meditating and go
And
back.
then go back.
Okay.
Because then you can put it. I really put it to the side. It's like you're physically putting it to the side, and then you come back to the moment. You're like, okay, I can deal with that later. So
Okay, I didn't know
And
that.
it's funny because I've been journaling on my phone.
yeah. Oh, I do that.
Yeah, and it really works. Like you put it on paper or you write it down, and it's like you no longer have to have like the live memory. Like you know how like you have like RAM and like it's like using that live memory. You don't have to because it's stock there, and if you want to go back to there, you can, but you don't have to.
And the thing is, that's like even my Bibish was telling me every time, like you gotta write it down, you gotta write it down. I really
It's
have
to
a
get it
hard
out of your head.
time to
Write things
down.
Because if you keep it in your head, guys, it's like you're weighing yourself down. Everything is in your head, and it's not categorized, so you don't know how to really deal with it. So it'll keep coming back because you haven't given it the attention that it needs. So by writing it down, it's like you're telling it, oh, I'll come back to you, and then we can actually really deal with it. Even when you say control, that's how you can actually bring control into it, because maybe you're someone that likes to, control your
I
thoughts.
feel super good in chaos.
Yeah.
That's one of my main issue. I mean, it's a good thing, but it can be also detrimental. So
yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of balance everything out.
I know also that some people are just like that. You're not that you're not able, but you just have more than one thought that people have. And something that helped me at the beginning was you can also take time to acknowledge the thought. Instead of writing it down or breaking down your meditation kind of thing, you just take time to say, okay, this is what I'm thinking right now.
I see you.
Yeah, and then it helps you to kind of like just put it aside.
Like I'm going to take a view at 9
Exactly,
p.m.
like-
at night.
Exactly.
When I'm about to go to bed, so I'm going to go through my list. Good idea.
That's
I'm gonna
more
try that.
that's
I'm
more
gonna
controlling
try
your
that.
thought,
Try it.
because you're telling your thought, like I've acknowledged you, I see you, I'll come back to you, rather than letting it rampage in your mind.
I guess it's a way of processing information at the same time.
It's so funny because the way we're speaking about thoughts right now, it feels like children are like annoying people. Where it's like, no, I saw your hand. Like I'll get to you, and then it calms them down.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I've been acknowledged. Okay.
Exactly.
Give me 5 minutes, and I'll give you my full attention.
Exactly. See? And we want it to, all these thoughts that you're having, we want it to serve you, because the more it serves you, the more it'll serve the people around you. And that's what politics is about, right? Serving the people around you. So you guys ready for the game? Any questions? Any other thoughts that you wanted to share?
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So this game is called What is the Holiday? Okay. So I'm not giving you guys a list. You guys have to use what you know and guess the holiday. And basically, why this pertains to politics is because holidays are a lot inspired. They've inspired politics over the centuries. So politics have looked to religion. They have looked to holidays. They have looked to different traditions and have implemented it in their system, basically. So you guys ready? Yes? So you guys can start answering. First of all, you guys have to clap and then answer.
I just have a question.
Yes.
There are holidays and then there are national days. Are we mixing everything together?
I took the biggest holidays.
Okay.
So there's 9.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
9
So, yes.
holidays
The biggest ones, like,
in the world.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Okay? So clap, then answer.
Okay.
And then as soon as I start answering the question, you can clap. You don't have to wait for me to finish. I'll give 15 seconds after I've done the question to if anybody has answered or not. At home, you guys have to answer during the live. I'm looking for someone that can get a perfect answer. If not, then it'll be the one with the highest answers. Okay? Ready, guys?
Ready.
All right. Festival of Lights that pays homage to the gods and marks the beginning of a new year. Lasts 5 days with a lot of feasts. Since it is a happy time. Go, you can answer.
Diwali, maybe?
Yes! Good job. Diwali, guys. Do you guys know the holiday?
Nope.
Nope. Something for you to learn, okay? So learning is also a way to burst with energy because you stimulate your mind and you get to know about other cultures, which is what we want in politics. We need someone that can really relate to everyone, right?
Yeah.
Ready, guys? Related to many different things, it took centuries to spread as it was viewed as a pagan tradition. So,
Christmas. Don't play
I
me.
was-
Don't play me.
yes. So Heldon won, Trish won. Do you want to? Yes. Thank you.
Reese has a complaint.
Ready? First recorded 4,000 years ago in ancient Babylon. Tied to farming and religion, many cultures see it as a fresh start. Nowadays,
Thanksgiving?
Nowadays, people all around the world send out invitations and dance the night away with loved ones.
Say that again.
First recorded 4,000 years ago in ancient Babylon, tied to farming and religion, many cultures see it as a fresh start. Nowadays, people all around the world send out invitations and dance the night away with loved ones.
New Year's.
10 seconds. You didn't clap, but
Oh,
yes,
shoot.
it's New
New
Year.
Year's.
We're gonna have a
That
pop
count,
out.
guys.
We're gonna do
I'm
half half then.
follow the
But
rules.
yeah, New
that
Year's.
count, guys.
No, she can
Because
have it.
Yeah, have it.
All right. So 2 for Heldon.
Yeah.
Well, like-
No, because I'm like,
Yeah, I was thinking so
Fresh
far.
The
start.
dancing
No,
and the
it
fresh
was the
start.
farming
it
that
was the
threw
farming
me
thing.
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah.
I was gonna go for New Year's, but I'm just like, how is that related to farming?
Because
There's
they
like-
would look at the stars to kind of
Yeah,
see
yeah,
when they
yeah.
should start.
And
Yeah.
also, like, it's not always January 1st for everyone,
Exactly.
right?
That's why
Some
they
people
give
start
like
the
a-
year
yeah,
during
exactly.
the farming season.
Ready?
I need to read more.
Representing one of the 5 pillars of Islam, a way to atone for sins and deepen their spirituality. This holiday helps Muslims connect with their religion and
Ramadan.
yes.
Jerry was having that.
2,
like,
1,
for
1.
my
I was going for the hate after the
Me
Ramadan,
too.
but
I
I'm
was
like,
actually. I thought it was 8. but-
Yeah, but
yeah.
ready?
Religiously.
There are 2 more, guys. Right? 2? Oh no, I'm missing. Sorry, it's in my pocket. I'll get them. Don't worry, guys. 6. There's 1 more. Okay, we'll continue. This holiday began as a feast to celebrate the decapitation of Christian martyrs. Martyrs. That died on the same day. Romanticized by Chaucer, who was a poet famous for his many contributions to literature, made a connection between the holiday and birds mating.
Valentine's?
Yes.
Exactly.
That's the definition of Valentine.
Yeah.
It was
Should I
all
reread
about
it?
dying,
I'll
I
reread
remember
it.
that.
So I'll
Chaucer,
reread it.
Chaucer,
Yes,
Chaucer.
Chaucer, yes. This holiday began as a feast to celebrate the decapitation of Christian martyrs that died on the same day. Romanticized by Chaucer, who was the poet famous for his many contributions to literature, made a connection between the holiday and birds mating. So it was actually really dark first, guys.
It was just a holiday to please women. That's why
No,
I'm like,
no,
To do what with women?
Please,
Very
women.
Fine, technically speaking, decapitation of martyr. you
No,
know.
on the side, sir. Do you see anything?
I don't think it's not your husband, but I mean,
You better get me some flowers.
Oh, okay. I guess there's 6 guys. Too bad. 1 more. Ready?
yeah.
Commemorates enlightenment under a Bodhi tree. There are many different kinds across the world, so there is no exact date for it. This holiday is a quiet, reflective one. Many celebrate it by meditating, reading, chanting, or performing acts of kindness. This is the hardest one.
That is the hardest one. What religion is it with attached?
Buddhism.
Well, you know what? Today's a learning moment, so feel free to educate me.
Shall I read it one more time?
So it's something that Buddhists do. Right?
Commemorates enlightenment under a Bodhi tree. There are many different kinds across the world, so there is no exact date for it. This holiday is a quiet, reflective one. There's a clue in it,
But isn't it pilgrimage or pilgrim? No?
but there's a clue in the...
Restart the question again.
Commemorates enlightenment under a Bodhi tree. There are many different kinds across the world, so there is no exact date for it. This holiday is a quiet, reflective one. Many celebrate it by meditating, reading, chanting, or performing acts of kindness.
Thanksgiving.
The boat
No.
die or boat something.
Close, bad idea. Yes. Very close. Smart
I-
cookie.
Wait, say it as
Bodai.
a Bodai. Okay.
Bodhi.
It's the Buddhist like day where they.
Yes. Bodai. Congratulations, Eldon. So you'll
Thank
get an
you.
oil. I'll give it to you after. You can tell me
It's
which
about
kind
time
you want.
season 2. Of
Yes, it's true, it's true. So, what did you guys think of those? So these are holidays that have impacted, systems, politics. This is also a way so you guys know where your holidays come from, so that you can actually pick up, is this something that I relate to? Is this something that my values are connected to?
I think it's interesting how they've transformed
Mhm.
over years,
Yep.
and how we hold a lot of baggage, conversation, and they are at the center of a lot of discord.
Mhm.
Knowing that
Especially
really,
Christmas.
it's like at the very beginning, it wasn't even something. It's not even close to what we're currently
No,
celebrating.
not at all.
But we hold it very dear to our
Mhm.
heart.
Exactly.
Some of these holidays weren't even religious to begin with.
Exactly. Yes, that's
And
true.
then it turned into something that's related to religion. So it's interesting to see.
So is it really the source of where these holidays come from, or is it the meaning that we give to it that matters more?
I mean,
Who gave the meaning? That's the real question. Because for me,
society.
Yeah, it's us as we continue to grow as a society.
Not really, because there's
Marketers.
something exactly, because for Christmas,
Marketers,
part of the
yes.
definition is that it's a commercial phenomenon.
Yeah, but the same thing is true for Valentine's Day,
Yes.
right?
That's true.
it's
But then
Valentine's
do you
Day
think-
is wild though.
And then New Year's.
Yes,
New Year's,
New
we're
Year's.
celebrating New Year's.
it's
with
not always
champagne.
January 1st.
Right.
Mhm.
So
official. But what I mean by marketers is like marketers always gonna be in the front of everything that we like. Sometimes we'll be like, it's society, is how people will talk about it, but they hear it somewhere.
Exactly.
And if you can sell a message long enough, people are gonna believe that it comes from the bottom, but it comes from the
Exactly.
top.
as a marketer, I will tell you that I'm only selling you feelings that deep down you're looking to have anyway.
I'm selling you feelings that you're looking to have anyways. Remember
Are
that,
you
guys.
forcing
Especially
those
with
feelings? Are
energy.
you
I'm
forcing?
not because
No,
if
it's not a force.
You're
I'm
bringing
I'm
them
not.
to
I'm
like.
just bringing them to life, and that's why sex sells, right? That's the reason why it sells so much. It's the reason why people like to feel like the VIP, right? If I make something exclusive, then all of a sudden everybody wants it, right? Fiji water.
Mhm.
Fiji water is a $4 bottle of water. Like you tell somebody drink water, they're like, no, I want juice, right? But you tell them it's Fiji water, all of a sudden people will get in line to get a $4 bottle of water.
And I'm
It's
probably
the
gonna slap them
exact
behind the head
same
a bit.
water,
And I
it's
want you guys to take everything that they're saying and bring it back to politics as well. 'cause
and it's just
all
a
of
matter of it's just I'm making you feel special. I'm making you feel unique. Those are all things that we all long for, right? I'm making you feel desired. I'm making you feel. I'm making you come out of the crowd. I'm making you feel seen and heard when you're not being seen and heard. But all of these things are just things that you want. And as a marketer,
You
just
tap
kinda
into
like-
that energy.
Actually, even
As a
just
marketer, you
making
tap
the
into the
person
energy.
feel seen, right? And sometimes they will just listen and get to buy whatever you're giving them or whatever you're presenting, just because you've taken the moment to listen or to make them feel like, yeah, you're right here, and my time is very valuable being spent with you. And you get
But what's the downside of it?
I mean, the downside of
Energy.
it is that you might believe that I'm doing it for the right reason, but ultimately I'm just here to sell products.
she's here for the check.
She's here.
So if she's here, she knows exactly why she's there for. So you, as the consumer, need to know exactly
be
what you're
aware.
putting your energy into.
A
And
good-
that's why you need to be aware of your meaning, but also the source.
a good marketer. People don't want to be sold to; they want to buy into things. So a marketer is able to identify that and use that for their pitch. So you don't want to go when you're like the water example. If you're shoving water in people's face, it's like, bro, I want water. But if you give them chips, like, I'm thirsty. Hey, you know what? I have Fiji water. Not even Fiji. I have water here. You know, like they bought into, I need to drink it and drink this water. I'm thirsty, instead of shoving it in their face. So that could be applied anywhere.
But coming-
Same thing with the holidays. Same thing with
Exactly.
politicians.
Yes.
Same thing
You're buying into an idea.
A politician goes around campaigns because they want you to buy into their vision. Like, yo, I'm. This is what I believe. 1 + 1 is 2.
Is it their vision, really?
Regardless of it doesn't have to be their personal vision. It's just the vision of. I say their vision just for the sake of
The party
whatever.
sake
For
of
the person, the politician represents a party, represents a collective. The politician is just the person that becomes the person that the people see.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be their vision specifically, but it's the vision of the collective
What's
they
pushed?
represent.
Yes.
And they're trying to,
just sell it. Think
yeah,
about it.
they're selling the vision to everything is sold and bought.
Yeah.
Everything is sold and bought.
And as long as-
Everything is transactional.
Yeah. And as long as I can make you feel like it was somewhat your ideas, or it's partly yours, or you
somewhat your
identify
idea.
to you.
So it's manipulation.
Of course.
Yeah,
Good.
but then okay,
Now.
no, but then
But manipulation is not
let me
always
say
bad.
something. Yeah,
I
exactly. It's not
know.
always bad, but also like let's be careful. I didn't want to bring that up. Like, of course he had to bring it up, but that shouldn't come up when we're talking about politics. You know why? Because there's this mindset or this group of people who just shove it away as, oh, I'm being manipulated either way, and never give it a day of light. So I was trying to avoid that, but then look how early
it's valid.
of the
But
It
it's
is
100%
valid.
valid.
It's very
Because
valid.
to-
Because
to-
you,
but it's
as the
very-
person that's going to be voting, you need to know what you're putting your energy
But
into.
the thing
right?
is, there's power in not voting,
Yes.
right? And by
I
not,
wanted to bring
and-
that up after
and
the
by
next
not
activity.
making
What's
a-
the power of not voting?
Because not making a choice is allowing for others to make a choice for you.
Yes.
So if you feel, okay,
Yeah, okay.
that your voice does not matter,
Mhm.
the best thing that you can do is not say anything. And silence can say a lot
Yes.
more than
Oh.
Okay,
than
time out.
people's
The
voices.
thing is,
Me
the thing
too,
is,
I
you're
agree.
going way too, like,
No, but anyways.
I'm
It
gonna
makes
explain
sense,
you
but
why.
like it doesn't.
We're in Montreal. Montreal is what 90% liberal. No matter what, no matter
That's not
who.
true.
No, let's
Okay,
hear
so
his.
then what-
Let's hear
Go ahead.
his point, and then yeah.
What I mean by that is that you can. Can we curse in this podcast?
I
Go
prefer
ahead.
not.
Okay, good, perfect. Can we curse in your podcast?
Express yourself.
Okay, good. It's sometimes BS to believe that, oh, you don't say anything and everything's gonna be okay. If something is happening in the background that you don't agree, you don't accept, it's not your fault. Like, oh yeah, but I'm not gonna vote for that guy. But I do not agree with 0% of what he's bringing. If I silence myself, I silence my future. If it goes against my belief, if it goes against what I want to teach to my kids, by silencing myself, I'm actually giving them power.
So what would you do instead?
The problem, okay, what will I do?
And that's why I encourage people to abstain. Because when you go and you vote, you can actually do 3 things. You can vote for 1, 2, 3, or you can choose to abstain. By abstaining,
That's
you're
true,
actually
not
yeah.
going to the booth, but actually go.
Yeah,
Going
you
there.
need to go
Cancel the
to
vote.
I didn't
cancel
know
the
that.
vote.
We learned something
Because
today.
what you want to do is to show in the result that if there's a good majority of people or like a decent segment of the population who's choosing to abstain for people that are running, what you're sending as a message is you guys are not coming to the forefront with things that matters to us, and nobody is answering to the call of the people.
Is it
And
working?
that there is power into
Why?
that.
Exactly, but I like that you brought that up because before you said not voting, so I was like, wait, yeah, the not voting, you have to
For
physically go
someone.
there and say that you abstain because then.
By the way,
what it
guys,
does-
Heldon actually helped with the last election.
What it does actually is it brings to your point that you not voting is you're giving
someone,
power.
yeah.
You're giving power to somebody else. There's a reason why we're finding ourselves with the same politicians over and over again. People are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to vote," but they don't understand that not voting actually means you go there, you abstain, and then your vote can count for something. If not, then 80% of those that always go, and we have seen the numbers, they're
Yeah.
usually older, they're usually one demographic, they're usually socially ranking
Yeah.
higher. So they obviously vote for them, for their people and the people that they want to see. And then all of us,
So you
Abstaining
should
from
always
voting,
cast
guys.
your vote, but your vote doesn't have to have a name, and your vote can still have power by simply abstaining.
by
Who
saying,
got the majority? That what matters. I'm gonna explain you why. If you go on Twitter,
What was your question?
because the majority always gonna win. Always, because let me explain. Sometimes it's not even the majority. The fringe extremes scream the loudest. The loud.
Yeah,
You might think like
yeah.
that's what people want. And politicians, most of the times, listen to the people that screams the loudest. So for me, if I want to be polite, then I'd be like, no, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's whatever. Nowadays, in 2021, going to 2022, there's two camps, pretty much. I'm going to take a stupid example. There's the vaxxed and the non-vaxxed.
Oh, you're not gonna have this conversation.
Nobody. what I want to bring to you is that what I want to bring up here is like you can be like, I'm gonna go and up. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if people want everybody to be vaxxed, whether you want to talk about it or not talk about it, gosh, whatever.
So here's what I'm gonna say about that. Here's what I'm gonna say about that. The last Canadian elections, which could have been an email. Okay. A lot of people had a lot of strong opinion, right? And it was this whole conversation about, oh, are they going to sway the vote or are they not going to sway the vote? And unfortunately, very often, people with very strong opinion don't go to the booth. They don't actually do the action behind it because they're unable to compromise. Because when it comes to voting, and the majority of the big democracies across the world, and even in the country that claim democracy, but it's not so democratic,
there's a lot of those.
The people who are unable to compromise are unable to cast a vote. When it comes to politics, right? Because politics happens anywhere there are people. If there are people involved, there's going to be politics. And if you're unable to compromise, you're unable to make an actual decision and a choice. Because with choices comes consequences. And if you're not willing to accept the consequences of your choice, you're not going to make any of them. Because to you, that is the best decision. And what happens? The people who are able to compromise will go and cast a vote, and they'll get elected official in power.
The energy of compromise.
But also, there's people that's like no-go zone. I mean, this is a line on the sand, and I cannot, this policy, I cannot label that
For
one.
sure, but those is more minority on that. Like those people that no-go zone is more they're more minority when it comes to making the action or casting the vote, like she said. They are usually the ones that are on the polls because the poll is free. Anybody can fill out a poll and say whatever. So that sometimes can give misleading information to certain parties. For example, what was the party? Was it the PPC?
Yeah. The People Party of
Federal
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
The
was
purple one?
the purple one. That was the most extreme right wing out of all of them,
And they got no votes.
and they got no votes. But like,
honey,
but
they have
but they have
depending on the
million
polls,
votes.
Yeah,
but
it's just our
in the grand
system.
scheme of things, the way our system, the way at least we have to consider the way our government system is set up and the voting works here. The PPC on the polls at one point, now they started getting more media attention. They started, you started on social media, you started seeing them. Oh, I'm voting PPC, nah. But then you see the results. It's like it's pretty much they existed in the last elections. We barely heard of them. The numbers are
Worse.
Okay,
Yeah.
time out.
the elections this.
Let's
that
agree to
happened this
disagree.
year.
I voted for the PPC.
Okay.
They had 300,000 in the first election in 2018, 2019, if my math and I voted for them in 2019. 300,000. Now they want 1.3 million people voted for them.
And
like-
that's
yeah,
fine.
they
And
did, but
they
it's-
had-
it's our
I didn't
system.
deny their growth. There's a growth. However,
Exactly, but you have to start somewhere pretty much. And I
Absolutely.
understand exactly what you mean. It's not about, because I believe there's a reason why I voted for. Yeah.
Essentially, okay, when it comes to people that make a lot of noise, okay, my father used to say, un tonneau vide fait beaucoup de bruit,
Absolument.
okay? And essentially that's what it comes down to. The day that people that make a lot of noise
Actually
actually
act.
translate into like concrete action, then people will actually pay attention to it. Unfortunately, we've seen and we continue to see that power is silent.
Yeah.
And that's why rappers say I move in silence, but I move in movement.
That's
So
a
we're
big
gonna-
value.
I mean,
Helden will go and then we're gonna end on that note because I want to take all this into the next part. Okay.
I don't think power is silence when it comes to like a democracy or like people's choices, pun intended, being like the democracy is us, is everyday people. Because then if we go in that electoral system, the silence will not help us, right? If we go in that, let's say, social system where we're demanding for better ways that the government can come out, take out trashes, different things in everyday life, silence again does not help us. So I feel like there's a
Yeah, by power
Like
is
a noise.
silent, right, I really mean like when it comes to like the political powers, when it comes to like a democratic country and like people showing up and using their voices, absolutely. But I think above and beyond voice, organization is key.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw it with the Black Lives Matter movement, and we saw it with like so many different movements that happened. Organization was more powerful than the voices and how loud you can actually be, right?
Why is that?
Huh?
Why is that?
Well,
at least there's a direction.
because it's the power of one, right?
Is
It's
it a
like
direction
united.
or everybody or a group of people want to push in one direction
Yeah, 'cause
only and ignore the other side
It's
or
because you-
villainize the
It's
other side?
because
You know what?
united.
Let's give this guy 3 minutes to talk because I feel like there's something he wants to say but he doesn't.
No,
Let's take a break and come back. I feel like
it's not
there's
valid
levels
because
to what-
I second that statement. Yeah,
Like-
we're gonna give you
let's
space.
space and you just like say
Before
exactly
that-
what you're trying to say because I feel like he keeps cutting his points that we're really ignoring something here.
don't worry
I
about
feel-
it. I can take
You're
control.
like a thought. We're gonna hear you out.
Acknowledge.
We're gonna have
See,
to-
I
No,
love that.
nah, no,
They got-
and
they
on
said-
that note, we're
They
gonna
said
come
a
back
few
to
things.
that.
They
I
said a
love
few
this.
things that I want to point out. Compromise, patience for growth. She said acknowledging. So these are all things that need to come into the political, system, the political environment. We need to respect other people's opinions, and we're gonna take it into the next conversation. So our last conversation, that way it'll give you guys time to express yourselves, is who would make a great leader. So I want you guys to come up with your own. Yes, it's an own opinion, but based on the knowledge that you guys have, who do you think? What are the characteristics that one would need to embody to be a good leader?
A great leader.
A great leader. And we have to vote after. So after they're each gonna say one. Everyone here is gonna vote. You
Okay.
guys included, okay? And you can't vote for yourself.
Why not?
Wait,
Who told you that?
I thought
Show me what
Your question. Wait.
I can't vote for myself.
How are you? I want to make sure.
So I want you to come up with basically a 30-second campaign of who would make a great leader.
Like
what would a
what?
great leader
No,
look
but I
like
mean,
embody?
do you mean are we speaking hypothetically of like just
Hypothetically, yes.
a template of a leader,
Yes.
or are we saying among us who would be a great leader?
No, so you come up with
Okay.
your
Come up with,
template and
like-
we're voting for that
Okay.
template. Yes.
Do you want to get political? Or
Yes.
like
I have examples.
political in a sense of like they would be conservative, let's say, or they would be liberal. Like do you
Because
want
at the end
to
of the
go
day,
to
no,
that
it
level?
goes-
No, I
it's
wanna know
a leader is a leader.
characteristics.
What would
Okay.
they need to embody?
Okay, okay.
Like qualities of a
Yes,
great leader.
qualities.
Ladies first.
Wait,
So we'll start
are we
with
doing
Trish?
now?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
I
not
thought
So
we
no,
were
so we're
taking a
gonna. I'll
break.
give you guys 30 seconds to
We're
kind
not
of just
starting
go
with
over.
Trish. We're talking about. We said we would give him the
Okay.
space.
No, not right now.
So I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to put your thoughts together. At home, 30 seconds to put your thoughts together. As they're thinking, I'm gonna explain how the giveaway is going to happen, so you guys can, get your
Because I
thoughts
wrote them
together.
down,
So basically, you guys have to like the video, get the answers from the game right. Whoever has the most answers will be in the leaderboard, and then at the end, you need to vote for one of their templates. Okay? So like the video, get the answers for the holidays. What is the holiday, right? And vote for one of their templates. And then you can email me justflowkofi@gmail.com. I'll see all the answers, and then I'll send you guys a 5 milliliter oil of your choice. So we'll talk about what's going on, and we'll find an oil that suits you.
Because I have examples of historic people that were great leaders. But great, we have to understand, great doesn't mean.
So we'll start with Terry.
great
Is everyone
doesn't
ready?
mean,
Yes?
I guess I'll go.
We'll start with Terry then.
Okay, so
As I'm speaking, I'm thinking. But one thing I think people misunderstand before I answer the question is that the word great doesn't mean.
Great.
There's good and great. And it's good and great don't mean the same thing. So you
Okay.
can be a good person and a great leader. You can be a bad person and a great leader.
Can you give some to a little bit to everyone?
okay.
You see what I mean? So it's just the act of leading.
No, go on, Terry.
What makes a great leader? Number one, vision.
Vision.
Having
Okay.
a vision.
Having
Let's
vision.
go back to the point earlier. Like having vision is necessary because there's a goal you want to reach, and the vision allows you to conceive that goal, and then you're okay. This is what I see. This is what I believe should happen. This is how everything should be set up.
Vote.
Also,
You have to vote.
a great leader is also cliche, but it's true. A great leader knows how to follow. So
Okay.
knowing how to follow is necessary. And delegation. Being able to delegate tasks. A great leader doesn't actually do everything firsthand. A great leader picks great people to do the smaller things or the not small things, but you know what I mean, like things that are broken down. And be like, okay, I'm great at the vision, but you are great at
Vote.
the logistics. You are great at
Vote.
the numbers. You are great at community, whatever. You know what I mean? And you circle yourself around those people, so then they can be the great of whatever.
So vision, knows how to follow, delegate.
Yeah. And yeah, compromise. There's compromise there that has to be involved too. I think in the 4 big points is that.
Perfect.
And usually when the compromise doesn't happen, that's where shit starts going south. Historically speaking.
That's true. That's true. I agree. Who'd like to go next? Thank you,
Me.
Terry.
Why you?
Because we said we give you the space.
Yeah, but this
Knowledge.
it was more no. Okay. That was for other stuff, but I'm sure we're gonna circle back. We're gonna come back to that after. And 5 minutes before the end, we're gonna fight. So what I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So
Just as like I can handle this. Let's
Yeah.
go.
I'm sure she can. She's Congolese. She can. A leader, from what I believe, has to be self-aware.
Okay.
So, and great point you said earlier, vision, follow. Self-awareness goes into the following part. Like I wrote it down earlier. Great communicator. That's why sometimes people believe that, oh, he's a great leader, blah, blah, blah. No, he knows how to talk. He
Yeah.
knows how to sell.
Yeah.
A good seller is not sometimes the best leader.
Yes.
But if you want your idea to be bought by other people, you need a great seller. Example, and I know I'm going on the dark side. You take Hitler.
That's exactly what I was like.
People might be like, he was a great leader. He convinced a whole country to attack and have the entire world for him, pretty much. But what he put around him to make sure that his message goes out was brilliant. I hate the dude, but it was brilliant. So, a real leader is really, really a follower. No, they have they're self-aware of what's happening around them and using that to better an ideology, an idea. You take CRT today. People think, oh, that's the big topic right now. It's like someone's gonna be like, let me take that and sell it to people. You take BLM. They're gonna take an ideology right now. They're gonna sell it to people. You're gonna take MAGA. People are gonna take it and they push it. It's all about, for me, self-aware. You're aware of what's happening in your surrounding today and see what you can use. Now, if you transfer that to politics, it's pretty much the same thing. Some countries, they don't give you the choice. They'll be like, I'm the king. I decide this is what we're going to do. Yes. In Western country, I'm going to make you guys believe that you have the power, but at the end of the day, my interest matters more than whatever you guys are thinking or doing. So let me find a way. You're going to be the blue, I'm going to be the red. But at the end of the day, this is what we want, us up on top. And we're going to push different narratives to make sure that at the end of the day, it benefits us. And that's how I see it. It's manipulation, maybe, but it's a way of you communicate that and how the way you pushing down to the people, because you're always going to have your minions going to be like, blah, blah, blah. You have MSN, Fox, MSNBC, Fox, whatever. Like, let's talk about that one, let's talk about that. But at the end of the day, it benefits who? If you want something for you, you just got to find a better way to market it to the people, whether they like it, they don't like it, they want it, they don't want it. You just have to plant the seed to make sure that they might want it. So let's push it to them. So at the end of the day, you victors, you make your moolah, you make your money, but nobody cares about the downside of it. Like, what's the downside of Instagram today? Instagram sells you the life, like, you want what?
No.
No, speak.
Keep speaking. We'll go back to it.
I know we will.
Finish.
So what's the downside of that? It's easy. There's a good. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna make her buy this and that, blah blah blah. But also, there's people that cannot afford it and they want it. They see it. You see, like you put it in front of the face. So they're gonna go take credit. They're gonna go do that. They're gonna try to change the face, the body, the image to look like what people are selling them. So, a leader is a good salesman.
Okay. So we'll repeat everything he says. Self-aware.
I said a lot of stuff.
Self-aware
I'm sorry.
of environment. Great communicator because he needs to push his, better. Better is an ideology, pushing his ideology also, and great seller. Okay.
Okay.
Trish.
So I think
I'm full of shit.
I think it's important to respect everybody's point of view. But in the interest of being respectful for the impact of like some of these figures in the world, I just can't sit here and just say that Hitler, a great leader. I mean, if you're watching the full video, you just have to know that it's like I understand that he had the impact and he was able to use people's fears and the ugly side of humans in order to push an ideology, but I just can't put greatness next to his name just because of the context of everything that happened and the souls that were lost. So I just wanted to start with that. Okay, that really
I think
so, and then I'm gonna let you finish. For me, a great leader is someone that has empathy, because empathy is the way that you get people to actually join your cause. A great leader is somebody that's able to stay unwavered in the storm, right? Is someone that's able to do the hard stuff when nobody else is willing to do it. Like, to me, that's like what greatness comes from. And just a leader in general is someone that can relate to people, is someone that is a great communicator, to your point, somebody that has to have a certain level of self-awareness for themselves, but also for the context of others. And if greatness is something that lives on, it's definitely something that needs to be anchored in more than self. Because if it's not, then you can fool people for a short amount of time, but eventually they catch on, right? And if you want that to like last throughout centuries in the way that we've seen with like many different figures, it has to be anchored as something that's beneficial for others. So to me, those are the qualities of a great leader.
Thank you. So we're just going to repeat that. Respectful, empathetic, grounded, unwavering in difficult times, willing to do the hard stuff, relatable, a great communicator, self-aware, anchored in more than just the self. Your turn, Helden. And then we'll go to Terry. Wanted to say something, so we'll
No, it was a big side note, but
So I'll keep it brief because I had actually written some. And just for the question, I answered it as somebody who I would admire as a great leader.
Okay.
I'm not sure if
that
would
falls
fit
under it too, yeah.
whoever, like as a...
But give us the characteristics.
Exactly. One is somebody who has more than one persona. So like, those leaders who are always serious or always joking, like, no, I need to see some sort of like mixture in the whole thing. You're not a thug, so why are you mugging me? Like things like that. I just... For me, that is not a great leader for me because, I mean, you're a leader of different types of people. So why are you just embodying one type of persona, I guess? Second, people person. Third is somebody who works smart. So just to go to the points that have already been mentioned, somebody who's a good communicator, somebody who will look at the team and know where to place who for things to continue working, somebody who can delegate, so a smart worker, not just like stuck in their ways. Another thing is able to sacrifice for the greater good. So sometimes you have to work with people you don't like for the benefit of a bigger good or something bigger to come out of it. So somebody who is willing to make that sacrifice, for me, they would come off as a good leader. I also had empathetic, and then the last one can make smart decisions. I mean, I can't even begin to say how many wars people have gotten into, how many conflicts have people have.
Oh, because of women.
Honestly, I'm telling you guys, this person has something to say. Just trying.
Politics, guys.
Aujourd'hui, là, tu m'as rencontré. But, Yeah, so able to make
Troublemaker.
smart decisions, able to make smart decisions in that, like they are able to look at a situation and say, you know what, even if it's satisfying in those moments to fight back or to do whatever,
Long term.
let's think long term.
Yes.
And
Okay, so
that can come off.
thank you, everyone. I'm gonna repeat Heldon's, and I'm gonna repeat everyone's just points, so that we can go into the voting. Did you want to say something, Terry?
Yeah, I did.
Twice. You wanted to say this?
No, well, okay.
So it's not
Initially,
both of us.
initially, what you said about sound effect and everything that you contextualize before you give your opinion, it's everything makes sense and I agree with it. I just want to specify that, at least for me, when I hear the word great, it's not great is a thing. It's not good or it's not good or it's not associated to a good or bad thing. It's associated to accomplishments.
Okay.
So
okay.
Hitler, for example, just to bring back the conversation, me in my head, I'm like, I believe he was a great leader to a point.
And to his people also.
But to a point, he was a great leader because he was able to accomplish. He was able to have certain accomplishments. But
Yeah.
I say all of that, still understanding the
Yes,
context.
I understand
that you
exactly
put
what you
together
mean.
I understand the expense that like everything's transactional. So even if you have a vision, you want to get somewhere, there is a cost, right? And now how you deal with that cost, that differs on the person or
Yes.
the leader. So
I like
I just want to add that I understand.
And even for you guys back
even
at
when
home.
I say, because some people may think great meaning that he was amazing. That's not what I'm saying. As a leader, for whoever he was leading, he was a great of what he did. And objectively speaking, he was a great leader to a point. So, and that could be applied to what you just said because it was he came up. And then to her point, I think my only pushback to what you said was smart decisions going to war. Because sometimes going to war is a smart decision.
I mean, if
But
that's
I
the
also
conclusion,
understand
right?
where you're coming from with
Exactly.
war.
Exactly.
It's a concept of human life loss. Like, can we do something without losing human life or without
Yes.
human expense and
Yes.
everything like that? So
Yeah,
that
I mean,
too.
because the Cold War is a good example
Yeah.
of like good leadership, right?
Yeah.
Oh, true.
absolutely.
How they did not
Absolutely.
actually
Yeah,
like
There was no
because-
actual physical.
And it was the
Yeah.
hard decision was to not go to war.
Yeah.
Like,
Can I just touch? I know we're kind of going back to like the subtext instead of like going
No,
on
it's
with the
okay.
point. But I want to touch on the thing with about this Hitler. Was he a great leader or not? And it is a very valid. Like, what do you quantify as great? Is it somebody who's able to lead
And let us
for
know in the comment
more than
section
3
at home,
years,
guys.
a group of people or whatnot? The reason why I really agree with Trish is like you get to a slippery slope at some point by terming him as great. Like, okay,
So
he was
what is
able
the
to
cost
stand up,
again that Terry
exactly,
was saying? What is
stand
the cost?
up and talk, and the masses would react to it. But then, the things he's saying, the gestures these people are following, what they're choosing to go by with, and he added like, oh, he was a great leader at least to his people, and it's no, because he killed Germans too. He killed his own people too, out of the basis of like, oh, I want to save us. But then if you are kind of looking at your neighbor and trying to save your neighbor, you're also a weakling. Like, there
But
was
this is
no
also bringing back to
consistency
your
in-
own at home, our own, each and every one of us, our own political energy and how we use it.
So I think
There was no
Yeah.
consistency in
and to
his
add to that,
leadership.
it's just that like I have a really hard time being hypocritical, where it's like I can't sit here and say I see the greatness in Hitler and not understand when white people say the same thing about the the different statues for slavery and say
Okay.
Confederacy and whatnot and get upset. You can't do both. You have to anchor yourself in justice, right? So if you see the greatness in Hitler, then do see the greatness in slavery. And if you can't do that, if you can't see the greatness in every single tragedy and look at it from the
Bigger picture?
from the bigger picture or for the opposite side, then it's either you apply it to all or you apply it to none. And I can't sit here and say that I can apply it to slavery. I cannot sit here and say that I can apply it to the Belgian Congo and and King Leopold II. I can't say that. And because of that, I apply the same logic to the souls that were lost under Hitler.
However, we're judging most of what we're saying right now, we're judging on the fact today. not when they were back then.
Dude,
The present moment.
Okay, no, let me explain, please. Let me explain.
I like
We
see,
know
and
it's-
take in that their different values are coming into this. So political energy again. So go ahead.
Back then, slavery, we had slaves too. Black people also had. To piggyback to your example, I'm gonna bring another one to you.
dude, we had
No, it's
servitude.
not.
We did not have slavery.
We did though.
No, we
We
had
had
no, we
ser-
had-
like
In
because
certain
because
places,
when we
or-
say
No, we
because when
did,
we
but
say
also-
slavery, like I need to context, like when we talk about slavery, the transatlantic slavery, they're utilizing humans as chattel, chaining them, raping them, beating them to them, taking babies and raping them, cutting their bodies.
Is
and
it
it's
happening today?
Like we did not have that in
It's
Africa.
and that's
Well,
always the
I-
misconception. The brutality on which the transatlantic slavery brought into the picture is nothing. Like you guys are comparing potatoes and apples. Just because both can be eaten raw, you're thinking, oh, it's the same. No. It's
Eaten
true.
raw? I don't know who's
There
eating
was
potatoes
slavery.
raw.
There was
Raw.
slavery.
I like
There
Pomme
was.
de terre et pomme.
Pomme de terre.
Parce que les deux s'appellent pomme. So
That's
so
fine.
there was slavery in the sense of like the Egyptians. Look who built the pyramids. It's the dark Africans, and like look at all of the context of it. Yes, slavery did exist. It's the brutality that was brought in that has never been seen before. The usage of humans as not even capital,
Cattle.
something as a rock. You take it, you chain it. If it's taking too long, then it's the first one to get off the ship because it's making the ship very, very heavy. If it does make it to the ship, then you can just separate it however you want. You can beat it up to shape it into whatever you want it to be. 300-400 years down the line, that is what we've never seen. So people will say, oh, we did have slavery and we still have it on today. Show me somewhere where it's actually to that sort of brutality, where
So-
you're changing people's, even physique, the food that they had, the breakdown of the DNAs became different. It was never the same from there on. But right now, you can still go and find black Egyptians or black Ethiopians or black, just in general, black people whose tribe has always been used as
Servitude, yes.
servitudes for other tribes. They're still existent, but the ones that
To your point.
No. Preach.
And so we're gonna finish with Guy and then we're gonna vote.
but
To your point, I get it, but slavery, it's slavery. Wait, let me tell you. Violence is violence. You know what? I slap my wife with the open hand, and compared to I punch my wife when she doesn't cook. Oh, but one is like hard. I get it. I get the point. What I mean, but
you see, no.
No, wait, let him finish.
See how-
Wait, let him finish.
Are you guys following?
Go on, Guy.
No, I want to see.
Go
let him
ahead.
land. Let him land.
what I mean by that is like I understand your point. But now we from here trying to divide but that kind of slavery was not too hard compared to that kind of slavery. Go ask those slavery that built the pyramid if their life was good also. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
slavery was
I
not
get
bad.
what he's saying.
comparison- there's a
Because
comparison
remember
of-
that he was
of,
also bringing it back to the present moment, right? Remember he's saying that we should see how it was like
Yeah, but
apply it today.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah.
understand what he's saying. So if we go back in time, because we're looking back in how it happened, if you go to ask those people, it's true. How did you feel during this time? I understand the brutality. We do have to talk about the brutality, but I also understand what he's saying by, if we ask them, it would be miserable.
Okay,
for
so
them.
Yeah, but this is like this. You're comparing pains.
But we can
Pain is pain.
We can have
No,
this
parce
conversation
que you
today.
can't-
We can have this conversation today.
Yeah, but the
Right?
slavery today.
Yeah.
We can have this conversation today.
That's why
There-
I said he's
there's-
bringing back to the
there's
modern
slavery
moment, the present
ongoing
moment.
Oh,
right
the slavery,
now,
okay, okay.
right at this very moment in
Yeah.
Liberia, right?
And Libya also.
Okay, so it's happening
But
right
not
at this very moment.
Mhm.
Ask them, right, the slave that's happening, the brutality that's happening right now, and compare it to what happened to grandfathers, not far along,
Mhm.
of African Americans.
That happened to them.
You cannot compare that.
Also,
Like the thing is, no matter how you cut the story, okay, and people of European descent, I think it's like it's anchored in shame. We'll try to cut the story differently, but it doesn't change the story that the only way that they were able to justify doing what they were doing to black bodies was by saying that they don't feel pain. You need to dehumanize someone.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they wasn't
like
human.
even
Of
animals
course,
are seen
100%.
as feeling
They
pain.
saw them like
Clearly,
inferior.
no. Clearly,
Yeah.
it was wrong then. If you had to go through the mental exercise of dehumanizing the black body in order to explain and to justify what you were doing to it.
It took a good
So
sell.
when you ask,
it took a
when
good
you
salesman.
ask the question,
It took a good
when you
salesman.
ask the question, if we look at historical
Wait a minute.
context
Let's say
and whether or
what?
not it was wrong then the question is in the writing. Because even in the writing, when you look at the journals, what they premise with is the Negro does not feel pain.
Okay.
And therefore, I can justify
I'm gonna rebuttal that.
what I'm
Like,
applying to
yeah.
this body. So even then, they knew it was wrong, and they had to create a psychologically safe environment to then address the cognitive dissonance that they were feeling at the time. So if you want to have this conversation about context is, then you just go back and read the journal that were written at that time, and they make mention of that context.
The only difference between you and me right now is like I'm not applying any emotion, and I'm just going with.
Why do people use emotion as if it's a bad thing?
I'm not saying
And
it's a bad thing,
she's
but
very passionate about what she's saying.
I
so
know,
it's not
and that's
emotion.
why. That's
I'm not
why
being
maybe.
emotional. I'm pressing my point
Exactly,
with
with
Good.
passion, and that
Emotional
and that is what,
passion.
And also,
But
can
what
I
I
just say
mean-
something?
Okay, go
Can I
ahead.
say something about what you just said about the slavery, and you said it took a good salesman. I think. Can you repeat what you just said? Like, just
It took a good salesman
To tell the story.
to tell the story that those people are way inferior and they don't feel pain.
Okay, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
A good salesman is not quantified that way. A good salesman does not have to diminish to sell that this is a half-empty bottle for somebody to understand to buy it. Or
I think
to
we
want
should
to buy
change
it
it
or
by
not.
an impactful salesman instead of a
But
I think it's the
another
word,
thing-
no,
Yeah.
I think if you change impactful, it's different.
Yes.
Because good is
Yeah.
Good is
Yeah,
like
because
I have a
okay,
quota.
yeah.
I have to
yeah,
sell a
but
story.
regardless of that, what they were
Inefficient.
doing was not
Inefficient salesman.
Yeah, it wasn't.
A
it
moral
wasn't
fish. A moral
No,
salesman.
I'm saying efficient too. No, because just
No,
the
because
moral-
think
good
about it.
applies the moral
These
aspect.
people
I'm
were not
using the
were
moral
not
part of it.
selling.
The good part were.
They were not selling something as if they were just come here and say, "Oh, look at this person, very well put together, very able to speak, blah blah blah." No, they depended on breaking you down so much that you don't fight when I bring you in front of whoever is gonna buy you. So that's not a good salesman. When you think about it, they're not.
Honey,
I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
they're not
I'm
doing-
sorry. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
we're gonna edit to that note, guys.
Efficient,
No, because
whatever,
good applies
like,
moral.
There's a
Yes.
moral
compass.
thing
Yes,
that's
yes, that's what it is.
One
So
of
moral.
like,
What-
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
know we gotta
efficient.
pick it back, but
I wanna.
we're just
Don't you
gonna
guys wanna
have-
vote?
We're just gonna have to put a pin on that. We'll do the vote,
Yes.
and then everybody can
Okay,
comment.
no,
yeah.
he didn't have his
It's true.
point.
Everybody,
Like, Harry had to say his points first.
everybody can
It's
comment.
very short. It's very short. It's very short. Once again, there's two things. I wrote down the first thing, but the second one was just added now. So just remember. So the one thing that it becomes the slippery slope that we talked about actually is exactly that. It's the moral compass of whoever
Yes.
is the subject of the
The
story.
slippery, yeah.
That's where it may differ depending on the person because that becomes a person. That's the only
Personal,
thing that
yeah.
is can you really measure morality? We've tried.
And that goes back to your
in
values, guys.
documents, and you know all the great thinkers, whatever. We all took in class at one point. Where it's like, okay, what is moral? What is? And then discussions happen, arguments happen because
Yes.
people now have different moral compasses. That's the only thing that is propre à sa personne in a sense. So with that, there can never be a full agreement in general if we bring that concept in. So that's what I wanted to avoid when I was saying great outside of morality initially. You know what I mean? So to bring that back, but that's fine. The one thing though that I really wanted to say was also the word slavery. To her point, she's correct to say transatlantic slave trade, just the term slave in a sense, that comes with a whole plethora that comes with its universe.
Yeah.
Right? So the Europeans that brought Africans here, that has its own universe, has its own rules, bylaws, whatever. That was not parallel to what was happening in Africa when there was kingdoms and everything like that. So
So to
slaves,
compare the two,
so
it's
to
kinda,
compare the two under
Yeah.
the same laws of
Yeah,
the universe is
exactly.
wrong. What I think can be done is switching. I realize I'm like, okay, if it's not slaves, we've always had human capital.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah, we've always had, and slavery is human capital, but human capital is not always slavery.
Yes.
So in Africa, we've had human capital. We may have had some level of slavery that would maybe look like what the Europeans did in Africa, but that was not Stepare Pontu, from what I
Yeah.
I know is documented.
Yeah.
It was Stepare Pontu. Maybe in territories here and there, they're much more brutal, maybe even worse than what white people did to us. But the general part of it is that human capital has always existed since humans existed. So, I think at least that's what I'm trying to do moving forward, is actually make that separation now. It's like, okay, Africans had human capital for the big part. Some had slaves, but there was human capital for the big part. White people had slaves.
Okay.
Dude.
So
A tiny majority of white people had slaves.
yes, it's true. It's true. The rich.
Yeah.
You have to.
And then when they realized that they were not important anymore, they stopped slavery because machinery came up. It was like a business
It
at the
makes
end of
sense
the
with
day.
the Industrial Revolution too. I understand that. That's.
Thank you everyone for your.
No, we put it
That
on
was
because
amazing.
Because history, politics, and economics is
Yes, all
it's
tied, and religion.
intertwined.
Yeah.
And-
All
yeah,
intertwined.
So now that's the moral part.
Yes.
So then we're gonna be here
Yes.
till next week.
Exactly. So we're gonna go into the vote, and we're gonna end our political bursting with energy. So I'm gonna repeat everybody.
We need a
Terry.
part 2.
We do need a part 2. So Terry, visionary, knows how to follow, knows how to delegate, and knows how to compromise. Okay? Guy, self-aware of environment, great communicator, betters an ideology, great seller, impactful seller. We'll change it to impactful
No,
seller.
really.
Great seller.
My moral seller.
Trish, respectful, empathetic, grounded, unwavering in difficult times, willing to do the hard stuff, relatable, communicator, self-aware, anchored in more than just the self. Okay? And then Heldon, more than one persona, people person, work smart, so that includes good communicator, delegating, smart decision maker, open, able to sacrifice for the greater good, and empathetic. Okay? So based on these qualities, who would you guys vote for? So everyone take some time to vote. If I need to repeat anything, yes?
I mean, okay, no. I was gonna say.
Can all the
Yeah,
above?
you did.
Yes. I said, yeah, he was like,
The
Ready?
second one.
What was
Yes.
it?
if I need to repeat anything, guys, let me know. And then give me your paper.
Isn't it biased? Aren't you all gonna vote for it when you vote?
Oh.
Yeah, I want to vote for my.
That's
Oh,
why I
okay,
don't.
you said that. Okay, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's why I don't want you guys to vote for yourself.
Yeah,
I don't
I was
want
about to
ones.
vote myself.
No, I forgot that you said
Each
that.
professor
Sure.
I can
You're
vote,
right,
so you
you're
can vote too.
right.
And then I'll take
Can you
your.
repeat?
Did you vote, please?
Never mind.
Oh yeah. Did you want
No,
me
no,
to?
it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's
So we
Th-
just write the
everything?
number,
The name?
the number or the name of
The,
Your
the,
name,
the,
just
the,
write
the
the name and the
name.
number.
Just the name.
If you're anybody else, you write the name.
C'est là, Brice, c'est là. To vote. Kenzo, t'as voté? Amazing. We're just waiting for 2 more votes. At home, guys, vote. Let us know your opinions. They did get fired up here. I'll have to bring all 4 of them back.
I
No,
got so
for real.
triggered.
I know. I know.
I have a book. I have a.
We really
there's
need to.
There's 3 books that I bought at Indigo. They're
Yeah.
all connected.
Yeah?
It's same format of history.
Say the
politics.
title so if anybody
I
wants to
completely-
look into
I
it.
completely-
Okay.
I completely
So he'll let me know and then I'll
There's
write it in the
3
caption, guys.
Politics and economics. It's like
History,
it's
politics,
like
economics.
a timeline.
A time.
It's a timeline of from when they whatever time to until now of how at each point in time what was. It's summarizing. It's a big book, but they summarize a lot of ideas for sure. Okay, big ideas. I think big ideas.
The big ideas.
explained
Let me
in
check
resume.
it and then I'll put it in the caption
So
of
you
the
have
video.
that for economics, you have that for politics, and you have that for history.
Yeah, I'm
So
actually.
Thank you.
very,
Yeah.
I'm actually reading the series by Ryan Holiday, and the current
what
book
that
that I'm reading is Courage,
Courage.
Okay.
Ryan
Finding
Holiday.
Courage, or something like that. And he talks about that. He talks about the different leaders and like the like what is courage and why is it so difficult to find and etc. And ultimately, he talks about it's really hard to go against the grain. It's hard to choose good. To choose evil
It is.
quite
It's
easy.
easy. And I even talk about that in life coaching, guys. It's always easy. It's easier to go for the bad habit.
Yeah.
Just like,
to choose and to maintain the good habit, to do the right thing.
But the right thing requires discipline.
Exactly, is the hard stuff, right?
Is it really difficult to choose?
You can argue with the author.
No, I want to hear the question. I want to hear the question.
Yeah, I want to hear the
Is
question.
it really easy to choose the bad in terms of politics? Like, I'm taking an example.
In terms of politics, I don't
In
think.
terms of politics,
Yeah.
To
it's-
choose
Yeah.
the bad?
in terms
Yeah,
of
to
politics,
choose
I
bad.
think. Well, okay, wait. Are we
Yeah,
corrupt or
because
not?
think about it.
Is the politician corrupt or not?
Yeah. that's-
I'm an example.
And we all know everybody can feel politics are corrupt. Okay, I understand.
What happened?
Theoretically speaking.
Okay, you might be the only one that can actually clearly
Explain
explain
it.
that. When it was the fight between the Tutsi and the Hutus, you had half of it was just pretty much two different factions.
C'est qui a fait ça? Somebody wrote all the names.
There was actually two factions, right? But in those two factions, there was a lot of people that didn't want to go kill the other side. But at the end of the day, down the line, years later, some of them were doing it. What happened? That's what I'm meaning. Like, you know, I'm gonna go kill my neighbor that I know, but from the, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. What changed?
Emotions.
Huh?
Emotions.
And also, you underestimate the need to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
People want
But the thing
survival.
is, that's
Survival
emotional.
is the very important.
But that's not the easy. That's not like it's easy
But
to
hold on,
choose
hold
bad.
on, hold
It's
on.
actually
Hold
that
on.
if
No,
I
you
don't
know
do
what,
it,
you know what,
my
you know what?
like something
Hold
that
on.
happened to my family. So
Hold on.
to all means necessary.
Hold on.
yes, sister.
Okay.
What's up?
Fear.
It was a question, an honest question. I wanted to understand that.
Yeah.
So
The
fear.
majority vote is in, guys. Finish your.
So fear,
Mhm.
right? Fear is like a natural human emotion.
Yeah.
Although you seem to not like emotions, I just want to remind you that
She just wanted
humans are emotional
Pokes.
beings,
Just
right?
poking.
And fear
Mm-hmm.
is a natural emotion. Like it's something that we all feel.
Yeah.
And when it comes to being afraid,
Mm-hmm.
right, to live in fear,
Mhm.
it's a choice.
Yeah.
To let it get to you
Mhm.
and to affect your decision based out of fear
Mhm.
is a choice.
100%.
It is when you're afflicted by fear, the natural thing that you want to do is to protect yourself. The natural thing that you want to do is to live in fear because it takes courage to say, I will stand up to my fear.
Yeah.
But
To
guys,
have
bring
to
you.
survive, right? To say, I'm going to do the thing to survive is to live in fear. The courageous thing to do, the hard thing to do is to say, I will do the right thing no matter what happens to me.
Exactly.
And that takes a lot of courage. And to have people sit there and to say, it's either you kill or be killed, only a very few will choose to be killed in order to not live in fear.
And the reality is, I don't live in the minority.
I was just
I
explaining
understand.
this.
Yeah, and I
was just
understand.
explaining
And I
this.
understand.
But I
them.
also, guys, I want you to think of your own choices and how that relates to your own energy.
I
How to make the wrong choice? How does that deplete you energetically? To make the right choice, how does that also deplete or increase your energy?
Yeah.
The perfect context for these types of questions is exactly Squid Game.
Squid Games.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, before we go into
Yeah, that was-
the winner is Trey.
No way.
Bravo, guys.
She's the president.
Trish for president.
I just want
Should I repeat your
Yeah.
respectful, empathetic, grounded, unwavering in difficult times, willing to do the hard stuff, relatable, communicator, self-aware, anchored in more than just the self. And there we have it
There's one
for
thing that I wanted to
our
ask for
energetic
everybody here about the
politician.
definition, because as I was hearing it, especially for myself, it's like, I think the way I wrote it is what I aspire to be in order to be a good leader.
Yeah.
yes.
Is that, and I, like, as I was listening to every single one of you guys, like, that's kind of like what I sense. It's like, if you were to aspire to be a leader,
Who would you
these
be?
are the things that
That
you
you
would.
would.
And that's
Right.
why I always brought it
Yeah.
back to your values, your
Yeah.
foundation,
Makes
your
sense.
boundaries. How are you going out into the world? Because that's the person that you're going to want
Because the
to see
multiple persona
representing
thing
you.
was just like, yeah, I can see that. I can,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes,
you're not
yeah,
just
yeah.
holding on to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to be narcissistic. That's it.
But also,
That's
I'm
true
wondering,
too.
I'm wondering if
If there's always a villain in every situation, you know, I think you could wear that hat really well today.
Oh yeah.
And
Honestly,
we
I'm
will
not doing
end on that
we
note,
need to
guys.
do a second one. I
So
swear
let
to
us
God.
know what you thought in the comment sections. We're gonna keep talking with them, and then we'll do a part 2
Exactly.
in the next
We're coming
season.
back for the part
Yes.
2. But you know, tellement dit des choses, genre,
Thank you,
I
guys.
don't know where to start.
Are we closing?
Oh,
Yes.
we had
You can
close,
keep
no?
going, yeah, but
Okay.
they're closing. They're gonna close.
About the thing about women is where I want to go back to.
Oh, the wars?
C'est quoi? What were you gonna say? What did you say? You said a bunch of things where I was just like, yo, I'll come back to that after. I'll come
Oh,
back.
the women. He's.
That women are the bad leaders, or
Oh no, because of
women.
he said because of women. He said
There was
it's
a lot of
usually
wars.
the wars that started because of women. That is true though. There's a lot of wars that did. Well, we can't
Not
say
the
a lot.
women
Give me
started
examples.
the war.
Yeah, she
Examples.
didn't
Maybe
start
I'm-
the war,
yeah.
but
Give
I
me
was actually
examples.
looking
Maybe
into this
I'm,
the other
It's
day.
almost like, you insulted my wife, so I'm gonna attack your kingdom and I'm gonna destroy all you guys.
There was
Like
one.
which
There was
one?